You know, there's this silent thief at work in our modern world. It isn't after your money or your stuff, it's stealing your energy. And it's leaving millions of us feeling just constantly, deeply exhausted for no good reason. So today, we're going to put this culprit under the microscope. We're going to expose exactly how it operates.
Okay, let me ask you something, and be honest. Does this sound familiar? You do everything right. You go to bed on time, you get your 7, 8, even 9 hours of sleep, but you wake up feeling like you've just run a marathon. If all the usual advice about getting enough sleep isn't working, it's because we've been looking for the thief in the wrong place. See, the problem isn't just about how long you're unconscious, it's about what's happening inside your head.
So our investigation doesn't really start in the bedroom. Nope, it starts right inside your skull. We're about to uncover our prime suspect. And let me tell you, it's the most powerful and the most power-hungry organ you've got. Here it is. This is the number that really changes everything. 20%. Your brain, which is only about 2% of your body weight, eats up a massive 20% of your daily energy. Think about that. It is an absolute powerhouse, firing billions of neurons every single second just to keep everything running, from your breathing to your big ideas. So when your brain gets overworked, it doesn't just get tired, it makes you tired. And it's really important we're clear on this. We are not talking about that satisfying ache you feel in your muscles after a good workout. No, we are talking about mental fatigue. This is a whole different beast. It's a state of deep exhaustion that kicks in after tons of thinking and worrying and processing. It's a biological signal that your brain's energy reserves are basically running on empty.
All right, let's move to the crime scene. Because our modern world, well, it has become the perfect environment for this energy theft to happen. It's a place that pushes our brains way beyond the limits they originally evolved for.
And here is the absolute core of the problem. On one hand, you have the brain's natural resting state. This is when it's supposed to recover, organize memories, and basically just recharge. But then you've got the modern brain. It almost never gets that chance. It's just always on. Constantly in a state of high alert, getting hammered with notifications, blue light from our screens, all of it disrupting our natural rhythms and just flooding our minds with stimulation. I mean, just think about your average day. This is the arsenal our brains are constantly up against. Every single notification gives you this tiny little chemical hit that makes you want to check it again. Every time you try to multitask, you're forcing your brain to slam on the brakes and change gears, which fragments your attention. It all adds up to this profound decision fatigue that just drains your mental battery, one little ping at a time.
But here's the twist. The energy thief doesn't always act alone. A lot of the time, it has accomplices. These internal saboteurs that are draining our energy from the inside, even when the outside world is totally quiet.
Let's start with anxiety. The best way to think about it is like leaving a car engine running in neutral. Your body's stress response is just permanently switched on, flooding your system with cortisol. You are burning through so much precious mental fuel just worrying about things that might happen. It's pure energy use with zero forward motion.
And then there's depression. Think of this one like a super heavy resource-hogging program running silently in the background of your computer. It actually changes your brain chemistry, messing with the very things that regulate your mood and motivation. And that chemical imbalance is incredibly costly, energetically speaking, which is why even the simplest tasks can feel completely overwhelming.
And finally, we unmask burnout. And this is so much more than just feeling overworked. It's a profound, soul-deep state of emotional and mental exhaustion that comes from chronic, relentless stress. This isn't just a feeling. It's a real physiological state where your brain's energy reserves aren't just low, they are fundamentally depleted. So, the big question is, how do we fight back? How do we reclaim our stolen energy? Well, the solution isn't just about trying to get more sleep. It's about giving your brain what it's actually crying out for: active recovery.
So here are 4 brain-based strategies. First, create some digital boundaries. Just powering down your devices an hour before bed lets your brain start producing melatonin, which tells it that it's time to wind down. Second, practice intentional rest. And no, this isn't sleeping. This is stuff like meditation or just a quiet walk, things that actually calm your nervous system. Third, embrace single tasking. Focusing on one thing at a time seriously reduces the mental load of constantly switching gears, which saves so much energy. And finally, if this fatigue just won't go away, you have to address the source. Talk to a professional and rule out any underlying conditions that might be sabotaging your energy on a biological level. At the end of the day, this chronic fatigue so many of us feel, it's rarely just a sleep problem. It's a recovery problem. Your brain isn't just tired, it's overstimulated, it's overloaded,
and it's under-recovered. So the real question isn't how to sleep more, it's how to rest better. So what's the one thing you're going to do, starting today, to give your brain the break it so desperately needs?